This video is going to be about strategic people priorities we all should be thinking about now when it comes to crafting and designing our people plans going forward in light of everything that has happened over the last 2 years and certainly has sped up lots of development when it comes to working practices, how we hire people, how we employ people and how we develop people. This is a follow-up video to the one I published last Sunday, which talks about how to prepare a 90-day plan for our new roles. And as part of my job interview assessments I'm currently going through, one of the questions was what I thought this organization needed to focus on when it comes to strategic people priorities. And I thought it would be really good to do a quick video that really can outline and help us get the conversation going in terms of what we need to focus on and what we need to start discussing, questions we need to ask. We will not know all the answers, no one knows all the answers, but what we could do certainly as human resources professionals or managers and leaders, regardless of the roles you operate in, is initiate a conversation and behave in a curious way that should help us arrive at the right answers for particular organizations, industries and sectors, because everyone is unique in their own right because of their services, products and customers that they work in. You can also download a free people plan template from my digital store that really should help you get started, craft questions you need to ask, facilitate meetings where we are going to obtain relevant information, data, views, focus, anything really that can help us create a good, solid people plan that should be easy to understand, easy to apply, with clearly defined activities as to why we're doing certain things, what we need to do, who's going to do them and by when as well. That's quite important. So when you share that people plan with all employees, managers and leaders, everyone really should be able to understand as to what your particular department or the whole of organization is focusing on. I'm going to take us through 5 sections now that I've also used for this presentation, and it really clearly explains as to what sections and activities we need to focus on to really help us define our people plan and people focus going forward. So let's get started. Focus number 1 is all about building skills and capabilities that we need here and now and that we need in the future going forward, and really focus on those entry-level roles to senior roles as well. And that split clearly needs to be explained so people can understand how they can progress and what they need to focus on, subject to their interests, skills and capabilities. As we live in the era of technology advancements, artificial intelligence, bots, any organization really should be thinking about what sort of activities will be automated, who is doing those activities that will be automated now or in the future, and really craft a plan as to what they can do to upskill their internal workforce and what their plan is to bring external people, external talent into the organization with those skills going forward. Focus number 2 is all about leadership styles. I've read a couple of really good articles that I'll attach a link in the description box that really talk about how we need to behave and lead people going forward. And certainly there is this focus that leaders need to be listening more and certainly need to consult more with their employees, because it's a two-way street. There is going to be more need for employees to also be asked as to where the future of the business is, what they think business should focus on and how they need to go about X, Y, Z. It encourages creativity and innovation, and everyone's ideas really should count. And B, for organizations, they will have more engaging workforce where they are enabling them to come up with really creative ideas and help them shape the strategy, the business focus going forward as well. So my suggestion is that if you're in a position where you are creating development programs for leaders and managers in your organizations, I would focus on leadership styles and changing behaviors that we all need to start working on, and creating these new habits that really should help us and help our people we work with going forward. In a nutshell, what we do need to see leaders do is just behave as great human beings and enable their employees to be themselves, be creative, be innovative, as opposed to just dictate what to do. When it comes to focus number 3, for me, what I listed is that organizations need to create agile workforce, create environment that's flexible, create flexible roles, cross-working between teams and departments, capacity assessment, which is all about that span of control as to how much management control their employees, continuous improvement, and transformations. You will find departments need to do this assessment of what they're running with, what they're improving, what they're transforming. And sometimes if it's just simple improvement, organizations could be looking to adapt and use continuous improvement methodologies that simply help them assess their business systems, people, processes, and that they are continuously improving in that space, which could be done on a yearly basis. When it comes to transformations, sometimes you do have to go into organizational design methodologies and apply those to a relevant team that really also needs to focus on system, people, and processes going forward that is in line with a particular business strategy. When it comes to creating agile workforce, agile as a word is all about how easily and quickly you can do something. And what we have certainly noticed over the pandemic, all of a sudden we had this split which roles can be done from home and which roles cannot be done from home. And the greatest development I've seen in this space is in contact centers. So up to now, contact centers were pretty much office-based roles where you have to physically come to an office and you have a couple of screens you need to work with, and customers call all day long with their queries that you need to answer. And the greatest development I believe I've noticed, especially in financial sector and other sectors that have contact centers, is that all of a sudden all these roles can be performed from home, which is absolutely fantastic to see. So that means you can be given a laptop or a screen, headset, relevant system, and basically you can log on from home and you still perform your services, still speak to customers, and customers wouldn't even know where you work from. It's just one example for you to understand as to how quickly organizations were able to come up with creative solutions when they were pushed by this pandemic, as one example. Focus number 4 is all about tools, processes, policies, procedures, etiquette that we create in our organizations. They really should be simplified, user-friendly, easy to follow and apply in our day-to-day work life. And what I mean by this is often we want to create flexible, creative, innovative environments. We want to enable our businesses get the job done really quickly and efficiently. But what's the point if our policies and procedures are not enabling them to do so? And in fact, they could be asking them to do something in 15, 20 steps as opposed to 2 or 3 steps. And one typical example is processes to request to recruit, processes to request to create a new role, and things like that. And if our recruitment is not ready to speedily support us with that, and if it takes 6 months to hire someone, then really we should be thinking as to what else we could do to change that. And final step 5 that are listed in my presentation, focuses on recruitment, so internal and external, from entry to senior roles, diversity and inclusion, well-being, engagement, and you name it, there is much more to this. And what I mean by this is that all organizations have an opportunity now to really assess what is their recruitment strategy, what is their recruitment policy, how they are advertising and inviting people to apply to work for them, what is that internal recruitment process as well, and how are we developing and investing in our internal existing workforce that also needs to be invested in, developed and reskilled in some particular examples. And I would encourage and challenge any organization to really clearly challenge themselves on what is absolutely essential and what is desirable when it comes to skill set. What are you happy to compromise on and what you are not happy to compromise on? That really needs to be clear to candidates. And I would challenge you to not put many items in this essential skill set, because you will preclude many people from applying for those jobs. So kind of just think about that as well, and do this assessment as to what roles absolutely have to be done from your physical locations, what roles can be done fully remotely and what roles can be done in a hybrid way as well that combines office and remote working. And this pandemic has been a great eye-opener to all industries and sectors across the world as to what kind of roles can be done from home and what kind of roles cannot be done from home, which really can cater to all people depending on which industry and sector and roles they work in. So, for example, all of my roles to date have been office type roles where I needed to go physically to an office and use my laptop and respond to emails and complete my actions, activities, go to meetings. And when I look at my husband, for example, all of his career has been working in shift type roles where he didn't have any workload to bring to home. He never had a work laptop, as one example as well. So he is always required to go to a physical location, do his role, do his shift. If he works overtime, he gets paid for overtime and then he comes home. And that's how he likes to work. He often tells me that he would never be able to work in an office all day long with a laptop. That's certainly something that would not work for him because he likes to be physically active and move about. And that's something that's quite important to be clearly defined on our adverts as to what kind of roles we have, how we encourage people to apply so we can cater to various people's aspirations and what kind of roles they want to work in. As I was preparing for this assessment where I had to pull together these strategic people priorities, and as part of my research I read quite a lot of articles and watched a couple of videos. The video I would like to call out here and encourage you to watch is a video by Harvard Business Review that focuses on the new world of work, where they interviewed Satya Nadella, Chief Executive Officer of Microsoft. Microsoft, of course, is a huge organization, and it's really good to see as to how they're thinking and developing into the future world of work and what they're offering and enabling their employees to do going forward. What I really liked in this video, if you managed to watch it, and the notes I've taken as well from it, is that their supervisors and managers apply these three principles when it comes to managing people, and it's called I model, I coach and I care, to enable their employees to work with interesting managers who are enabling them to be creative and innovative, but also who care about them. That's it for this video. Please let me know your views as to what else you think we should focus on. Please let me know in comments or send me an email. I would really encourage you to engage in a conversation with me and really learn and upskill ourselves as well. That's quite important for me, just to sort of make sure that I'm engaging, that I'm thinking along the right lines, and really see what else we could do to support each other when it comes to supporting our organizations as best as we can, regardless of the roles we work in. See you in the next video. Bye for now.